All right, so we're going to go back to our basics. The first things we were supposed to learn in class and that weren't taught very well to us or explained in a way that we could understand. So, derivative. We're going to start with that. Oh, it might help if I could spell things correctly. Derivative just equals the slope or the rate of change. That's about it. Slope is interchangeable with derivative. If it's asking you to look for slope, you're going to find the derivative. That's it. That's all it wants from you. I don't think that was explained super well, and so it made it much more intimidating than it actually was, especially when the first homework was so much more pressure than it really needed to be. So yeah, we're going to go back through that so that hopefully if anybody's still confused on that before the test on Tuesday, these videos will help. So, basic finding of slope from anything. So, if they just give us something like 4x plus 4. Our slope is easy there because it's already in mx plus b format. There's no exponents. It's just this 4 right here. Because if there was an exponent, it would be an understood 1 here, which would drop off that variable anyway when we go to take the derivative. The derivative of 4x plus 4 is just the 4 in front. So then we go into slightly more difficult. To take the derivative of something with an exponent. Let's say we're given 2x cubed plus 6. And that's what we're working with first, okay? So our derivative of that would take this exponent and multiply it by this term in the front. So in that case, it would be 3 times 2, which is 6. Then we take our exponent and subtract 1 from it. It does not matter what your exponent is, you will subtract 1 from it. We'll go over fractions and decimals and stuff later, but it's the same concept. You're subtracting 1 from it. So 3 minus 1 equals 2, which means that our x variable there has to stay because it is not a 1. So we would have x squared. This number right here drops away because the derivative of a whole number is 0. So our derivative of this entire thing is just 6x squared. Okay, so then if we have 3x to the 4th plus 6x squared minus 10x plus 4. Let's go with that. Still pretty simple. It's still basically the same as what we've been doing, so we have a few more x values here. So we would take our 4, multiply it by our 3, which gives us 12. Then subtract 1 from our exponent, and that will leave us with 3. That is the derivative of our first term. We multiply our 2 by our 6, and it is a positive 6 since there is a plus here. So 2 times 6 is 12, so add that, 12. Now our 2, we subtract 1 from it, and it would be a 1. We don't write the 1, it's understood, but it leaves us with an x. Now this one, there is an understood 1 here. So we would still do the same thing. We're still multiplying. We just multiply an understood 1 by this negative 10, which just leaves us with a negative 10. 1 minus 1 would be 0, so our x value drops away. And then this value right here, once again, drops away because the derivative of a whole number is 0. So the derivative of this entire thing would just be 12x cubed plus 12x minus 10. And then if it gave you a value to input there, you could find the slope of an actual line. like the actual number value. Right? So I think that covers the very basics. I'm going to do a few other videos with some of the other basics using some of our questions, but hopefully that explains derivative in general just a little bit better than we learned in class.